Hello, this is the Extraordinary Rayman because my opinion is just that interesting. And this is my top of my head review for Project X. Just as a warning, there's probably going to be a few spoilers here and there in case you're interested in seeing this movie. Just there's a heads up. Um, at first, I had no interest in seeing this movie. I was kind of on a high of POV films after seeing Chronicle, which is a brilliant movie, by the way. Uh, but I read the synopsis on Wikipedia, and I kind of got a little interested in it. The idea of this party escalating to just the upteenth degree. The idea of the movie is that this kid, Thomas, I think his name was, he's a real loser and a real geek. And so his buddy, quote unquote buddy, is going to throw him this huge party, and he lets a bunch of people know. He posted on like social networking websites, and actually ends up on Craigslist. And so, even though his parents are telling him, just 30, 50 friends, no, I think his buddy says 50 friends at max. I don't know, like a couple friends at max. The party just goes insane. And I was surprised at how much I actually enjoyed this movie. Just the level of insane, just a not twist, but just the escalation of how things go during this party, and just the worst case scenarios that you could possibly have when throwing a party. There's things get set on fire. There's drugs involved. There's little people, and cars end up in pools. People are having sex. Alcohol everywhere. It's pretty funny. I mean, granted, it's not as funny as a lot of the humor was kind of like shock humor, like kind of like that I got from The Hangover 2, Hangover Part 2. So you're mostly laughing just the insanity of what's happening on screen, not actually on what's being funny, because they all talk like teenagers and they use profanity every 5 seconds and they insult each other. But it is surprisingly enjoyable. But the problem is, and this really keeps me from liking the movie, is as a POV film, it completely fails. The kid who's filming, it's one guy the whole time, which it, that itself I think is kind of a problem. But there's this one kid who's filming the whole time, and he's this real freak. And that's his character, is that he's a weirdo. Okay, I understand that. In Chronicle, the guy who's filming most of the movie, he's kind of a socially awkward guy, but him filming was a character trait, not his only defining personality trait. And just the thing is, sorry, I see my head's all lopsided, and it's really getting on my nerves. Now you're probably all gonna do the same. It's gonna make me subconsciously annoyed. Forget it. Anyway, he is allowed to film in situations and in places where there would be no way he could do this. Like, they go into a locker and they're filming. Who is gonna let a weird guy film them in a locker room? It's just it's distracting. And he manages to like follow people everywhere. Every time something important is going to happen, he manages to follow just them. Every now and then they do something a little creative like Chronicle did, where they'll have different cameras filming different things, and that's acceptable. But they don't do it enough. They don't do it enough. I got a text. They don't do it enough. And if they would have filmed this like a normal movie and just had it like a shaky cam film, or even better yet, filmed it like someone was there the whole time, but never draw attention to the fact that there is a person filming, I think it would have been really interesting, and you could have been like there in the spot. If it wasn't filmed like a traditional movie where there's things are steadied and pan shots and all that filmmaking jargon, I don't know. I think then it would have been really interesting, because you wouldn't have had the added distraction of, oh, this is supposed to be a POV film, and this camera has the greatest speakers in the world. The guy is filming in the van as they go up to this building 30 feet away outside of the van. and yet he can still hear them easily. He must have had an entire boom team recording them or something like that. Also, the ending goes on for way, way, way too long. There's a moment, here we go, spoiler alert, there's a moment where, after everything has happened, him and his buddies are kind of chilling in the stadium talking about what's happening and what happened. And then you kind of get this, like, zoom out shot where, like, the weird guy is kind of leaving him and he's filming the guy. And that would have been perfectly acceptable if this kid's fate was kind of left open to open interpretation. You know, you could guess, kind of like the ending of Inception. But I'm giving these filmmakers way, way too much credit to do that. He manages to fix the relation with his girl buddy, who he completely ruined. No. His life is in shambles. It's not important right now. Not to mention, he goes to school and he gets what he wanted. He's so popular and everybody loves him. Oh, great, you're popular, but you don't have a college fund, a house anymore. You've lost your parents' respect. You might go to jail for years. It was the most, like, awkward Hollywood ending I've ever seen in my life, because it was a POV film. But I'm probably expecting too much of a movie that is about teenagers getting drunk. That is not super bad. Overall, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but if you're interested in seeing it, knock yourself out. Chronicle, though, is way better. Way more creative. That's it. This is the Extraordinary Rayman signing off. I will see you next time.